personality game. Little personality game. It's very easy. So this is what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to just imagine a few things, and then afterwards, and write this down. Afterwards, I will pick on a few people to share with us what you imagined, and I'll tell you exactly what they mean. How does that sound? And by the way, this is super accurate. This is one of the best personality games I have ever come across. Are we all ready? Okay. So, there are no right or wrong answers, just imagine. Whatever comes to your mind first, write it down. So, picture a plain white room. Now, inside this room, place a cube. A cube. Now, is it a big cube or a small cube? What's it made of? Is it a Rubik's cube, glass cube, a transparent cube? And where is the cube? Is it in the middle of the room? Or is it in the corner? Or to the side? Is it grounded? Is it on the ground or is it floating? Are you facing the side of the cube or are you facing a corner of the cube? Okay. Next, in this room, picture a ladder. A ladder. Where is this ladder? Is it against the cube or is it against one of the walls? Is it a tall ladder or a short ladder? Is it easy to climb or difficult to climb? What's it made of? Is it flimsy or is it solid? Next, I want you to imagine a horse. A horse. Where's the horse? What's the horse doing? Wagging its tail? Is it looking at the cube? Is it looking at the ladder? Is the horse black or is it white? Or a different color? Is it a unicorn? Is it a cartoon horse? Now I want you to write down 3 words that will describe the personality of the horse. 3 words. Is it a funny horse? Is it a fat horse? Is it a lazy horse? Is it a good-looking, handsome horse? 3 words. Next, I want you to write down, I want you to imagine some flowers. Do you see many or do you see a few? Many or a few? Where are they in the room? Are they in the corner? Are they in the middle of the room? Are they on top of the cube? Are they near the horse? Are they all one kind? Are they all the same kind of flowers? What kind of flowers are they? And lastly, I want you to imagine a storm. A storm. Where is the storm? Inside or outside? Is it a violent storm that's destroying things, or is it kind of a calm storm? Is it coming towards you, or is it sort of just passing by? Alright, that's it. Now, wouldn't it be funny if none of these meant anything at all? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, these things mean something. Okay, so let's talk about the cube. Who would like to share their cube? Dan.
I had a big wooden cube in the middle,
yep.
Maybe side on.
Okay, is it floating or ground? On the ground.
It's on the ground, in the middle.
Okay, is it heavy? Light?
Solid.
Solid. Heavy?
Heavy.
Okay, cool. Anyone else? Lucy?
I had a small red solid cube in the middle on the ground.
What's it made of?
Corner facing me. It was like wood but red. Maybe,
Okay.
I don't know what it's made of. Probably
Is it heavy?
Yeah, okay. It's heavy.
Anyone else?
Small white stone.
White stone?
White stone.
Is it a precious kind of stone?
More chalky.
Okay.
Limestone.
Limestone. In the middle?
Off to not really centred, off to the side a bit.
Okay.
On the floor.
On the floor. On the floor.
So it's a medium-sized cube, and it's made of paper, white paper.
Interesting. Is it on the ground or is it floating?
It's floating.
It's floating. That tells me a lot. Alright, who would like to know what the cube means? It's your self-image. The cube is your self-image. Now, I'm getting the green light here.
I'll give you an extension.
So,
I'll give you an extension.
it tells you a lot about the person by what the cube is made of. Some people who are really egotistical, they have big cubes, but it's empty. Huge cube, but it's empty. Some people have wooden cubes, solid, That tells me a lot about your character. You're a solid person. You're a reliable person. You stick to your word. True?
That's right.
Absolutely. A lot of women tend to have Rubik's Cubes. I'm a puzzle. Hey. You can't tell. If your cube is transparent, that means you wear your heart on your sleeve. You're easy to read. If your cube is floating, that means you're very creative. If your cube is on the ground, that means you're a practical day-to-day person. If you're facing the side of the cube, that means you're very practical. You like everyday things. And if you're facing a corner of the cube, that means you have a leadership quality to you. That doesn't mean you don't if you face the side. That just means you're more on the practical side.
What if the cube's moving?
Ultra creative. Next, we have the ladder. Who would like to share their ladder? Great.
It was a tall ladder. I was on top of it looking down at the cube. Made from aluminium, quite solid. Heavy.
Solid and heavy. Easy to climb or difficult to climb?
No, easy.
Easy. Okay, anyone else? Ladder?
Mine is went through the
What? Went through the ceiling? Wow, what's it made of?
still.
Steel, solid, easy to climb?
Easy.
Wow, what do you do for a job?
Studying for now.
Okay. Tells me a lot. Anyone else? Ladder?
A wooden ladder, like a snakes and ladder ladder.
So is it kind of a toy ladder?
Just a wooden one.
Okay, is it solid or is it flimsy?
Yeah, fairly solid.
Easy to climb?
Yeah.
So? Okay. So here's what the ladder means. It's your ambitions in life and your peers and your friends. So, if your ladder is tall, you have high ambitions. Through the roof. Now, if the ladder is against the cube, that means you sort of identify yourself with what you do. If it's sort of on, a side, that means, you can sort of detach yourself away from what you do. So, if you're an accountant, that doesn't mean that you're just an accountant. That's just what you do. And if it's easy to climb, that means you perceive that, hey, I'm ambitious and I can actually achieve that. If you have solid friends, if you have a peer group that supports your growth, then you would have a solid ladder that's easy to climb. A lot of people with backstabbing friends would have a flimsy ladder that's very difficult to climb. Next, the horse. The horse. The horse, in fact, who would like to share their horse?
I had a white horse. I had everything white, the cube, the ladder, everything was white. And it had a big bushy tail. And my it was standing still, and it was facing towards a corner, it wasn't moving, and the 3 words were pure, benign, and beautiful. My horse.
Anyone else? Yes.
Mine was brown, and it was on top of the cube. It was facing the ladder.
That's
and
very interesting.
It had the front door, or whatever, the front straight up. And I had 2 words, which was proud and gorgeous.
Proud and gorgeous. Sweet. Anyone else? One more.
My horse was one of those condor horses, they've got
cool.
one of those poles through it.
So is it fake horse? Okay. No personality. No, it doesn't. No personality. It's just a horse in the corner. Okay, interesting. All right. So the horse is your ideal man/woman. Here's what. I'm not talking about.
See if I get divorced, you're in trouble.
I'm talking about a man or a woman that you can see yourself spending a lot of time with, a companion. Right? So, white, in terms of white, that's pure. Exactly. The color white represents pure. And you're talking about a man, correct me if I'm wrong, but ideally you would rather have a man who is innocent, who doesn't go and, do things behind your back. And, good luck with that one. Would that be true? And the fact that the horse is looking into a corner kind of tells me that, his focus is on something else other than the cube. If a horse is looking at the cube, then your ideal man is kind of, paying attention to you.
What about the bushy tail?
He's kind of innocent. Whereas a dark horse means something completely different, right? Because the dark energy is completely different to the light energy. I'm not going to go through this. But proud, sticky proud. Okay, next. What do we got? The flowers. Okay. The flowers, I'll just explain this. I'm on Andrew Love already. The flowers represent children. Children. So, some people see a whole lot of flowers all over the ground and they want to have lots of kids. If the flowers are all the one kind, that means they came from you and you actually, you hold a very close family if you have all the flowers in the vase. If they're all the same color, then that means that you're a strict parent. You wish to be a strict parent, in which you want to craft every single little baby to be exactly the same. Probably just like you. But if they're different colors, then you're safe. Yeah, and I had a friend of mine who she said, she had 3 roses in the vase, and she wanted 3 kids for like as long as she would do this. So this is freaky stuff.
I have a valley of flowers.
Mama.
What do you think that represents?
Extended family.
And lastly, the storm. Storm represents all the problems, all the troubles that you're going to have in your life. Now, if it's in the room, as it is for a lot of women, because women associate with their problems a lot more. Man, masculine energy is all about detachment. The storm's over there, it's never going to come this way. Let me just do this thing. So the storm represents all the problems, and if it's coming towards you, you either have some deadlines, or you feel like the future's not going to be as bright as the past, perhaps. And if the storm is a calm storm, then that means you're good at dealing with problems. Now, lastly, quickly, just out of 10, how accurate was that? I just want to go through around the room, how accurate out of 10? 7.6? Bobby?
I've got to be honest, I've actually done it before. But still, I forgot about some things like the storm.
Yep.
I don't think when I did it, had the storm and I had that outside the cube.
Yep.
And I'm usually pretty casual going with life. I don't get too intent with problems.
Yep.
So that was definitely correct.
Okay.
9.5.
9.5.
7, 8.
7, 8.
Probably 9.
9.
6 maybe.
6.
I just said maybe
We
no.
haven't evaluated it.
But it's not how many kids you have, it's what you sort of wish for, what would be the ideal.
Accurate except for the flower one. I had a lot of flowers. I was like, yeah, and I'm like, no, I don't want that many kids.
No, it's not how many kids you can have. It's we all have this belief when we grow up, I wish that this would happen.
Yeah, so I don't have
be
that.
like
It's the only one, but the rest are really good. So
Maybe need something else.
little me
Yeah.
too, kind of the same.
Need to move on.
Move on, let's move on.
That was
Just
excellent.
tell me later on then.
Okay.
I'd love to hear your scores out of 10.